Yo, Foodservice Power Plant Network. And to all of our friends on LinkedIn, welcome to Monday night. You know, it's been a little bit since we've had a live conversation. I've been on the road, but I am glad to be home and so glad to be with you. I hope it's sunny where you are. I'm looking out my window right now into the skies of Colorado. It is beautiful. I don't see a cloud. And as soon as we're done here, it will be walking time for sure. We'll take Molly on a walk. And I hope you are as well. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we have an unbelievable conversation. One of my friends is Jamie Arguello with Grady's Restaurant Supply down in Pueblo, Colorado. And I started calling on Grady's maybe before it was Grady's. I don't know. They were Pueblo Hotel Supply and then became Grady's. And Jamie's dad, Paul, was running things back then. And I would go down there and call on him and sell some stuff. And we talk baseball and we talk life and we talk SIFA and all these wonderful things. And back in the day, and now Jamie is helping run things over there and doing an amazing job. She was this year's FENS Outstanding Achiever in the Dealer category. She has an amazing story, and she's just one of the most authentic, honest people ever. And I can't wait to have her on. You know who else can't wait to have her on? Teddy Reed is in the house. Jamie is terrific. Looking so forward to this. Teddy, you and I both. Hey, for everyone else watching, go Team Grady's. I love it. If you are on Facebook, I'm going to check into Facebook right now and see if I can see who's on, but know that you can go to StreamYard/Facebook and you can enter your name so that when you comment, we can see who's commenting. So if you want to do that, go to StreamYard/Facebook. In the meantime, I am going to go into the group right now and see if I can see who's saying hi. And I will do my best to say hi to everybody. Okay. Go Team Grady's. That's McKaylee. Bill Dunnett is on. Hey, Bill, good to see you. Ruby Hirschberger's in the house. What's up, Rube? Our buddy Ben Colon is on, watching from Florida. Hi, everybody. Hi, Ben. You are crushing, my friend. I love this. I love this. Oh, look at this. Our friend Denise, much love and respect for Jamie. You, me, and a whole lot of people. Dean is in the house. Hi, Dean. Good to see you, brother. Hey, listen, before we get going, a couple things. First, I would encourage you to grab a pen. I have a pen because I'm going to be taking notes when Jamie and I talk, because always there's something that the guest shares that I need in my life and you might need in yours. Look who else is here. Luke Gradishar's in the house. What up, Luke? So great. So great. So grab a pen and a notepad. Jamie's going to share something that you might need. And maybe you just put it by your bedstand tonight. You think about it as you're going to bed. You wake up in the morning. You're like, you know what? I need to do this in my life, or I need to think this way. Or here's a mindset I need to take on because Jamie did. So feel free to take some notes. Secondly, these conversations don't happen without the support of our industry and unbelievable people like the team at Zumba Group, Maureen and Dave and Joe and Sam and Nick, and so many stinking people who have been so supportive to help make these conversations happen. If you are certainly in the industry, in the supply and equipment industry, you get FENS magazine. If you are in a restaurateur and you're in restaurants, you're going to want that magazine to know what you should be buying, or restaurant development and design. Go check that out to see what's trending, what's new, what's hot in food service. Go check that out. And if you're in food service and you need some marketing support or a website or social media help, go check out Craven Company. Chelsea and Eric and the whole team over there, Carolyn, everybody are so amazing. They've built our website. In fact, if you want to see all our conversations, we've done over 100. They are all at www.fspowerplant.com. And Jamie's will be there later this week. So go check it out. We're going to bring her in one sec. Look who's here. Holy smokes. Maureen Slocum's in the house. Hi, Maureen. I love it. Arkansas is in the house. That's our buddy Taz. Yo, brother. Ignite Food Service is in the house. Hey, Don, good to see you. Everybody, welcome. Remember also, if you have a question for Jamie, throw it in there. I don't know that we'll get to it. Maybe we will if we have time, but you are more than welcome. Carolyn says, Chris from Zumba, Jamie is awesome, smart, beautiful, talented woman in our industry. Rock on. I love it. Let's go. Andrew, I'm with you. Let's go. Let's go find her. I'm bringing her in. Jamie!
Hi, everybody.
Hi, how are ya?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
You know, I'm so great. These are my favorite times in a week to get to share stories and just like, it's like you and I are having a cup of coffee or a cocktail, whatever we want to have at 6 o'clock at night, and that people get to be a part of it. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you for everybody joining in too. I really appreciate it. So nice to hear all those names as you were calling them out. So hi to everybody. I love you all.
Isn't it so fun? This is our buddy, Mary Margaret. Mary Dunn, love, Jamie. What an amazing inspiration for all of us industry ladies. Heck yes.
Awesome. Hi, Mary.
Mary is living life with Sophie, our industry's baby. I love it. And Mary, welcome, my friend. Okay, Jamie, let's start. So you've got, you're third generation. I was calling on your dad when I got into the industry 15 years ago. And I think it was your grandfather and grandmother who were running it before your dad, if I remember correctly.
That's
Can
correct.
you tell us a little bit about just kind of Grady's story and how you ended up in the business and in the industry?
So after World War II, my grandfather started working for a man by the name of Paul Revick, who started Pueblo Hotel Supply in 1942. I think I already said that. He was a stock boy back then. And he ended up buying that business from Mr. Revick in 1965 with my grandmother, Dorothy. My brother was then born somewhere around 1978. Sorry to call you out on your age, Luke. My dad was a teacher at the time, and my mom worked in a bank up in Colorado Springs. My brother had some health issues, and so they needed the support of family. So they moved back to Pueblo, and then my dad started working at Pueblo Hotel Supply while my mom stayed home with us and eventually went back to school to be a teacher. So he worked there with my grandfather, and my grandfather actually passed away when he was 58. So he was a young person to pass away. So my grandmother, Dorothy, ran the company until the 90s. My dad might argue and say he ran the company, but they both ran it together anyway until my dad finally purchased the company in the late 90s from my grandmother, Dorothy, who I absolutely adore, and my grandfather. And then I got into the business kind of by happenstance. My brother and I were doing another career. Things kind of went sideways, which we stuck in it, but then I owed my dad some money. I said, Dad, let me come work for you. Whatever I make in sales, you can take off the debt that I owed you. I don't think he ever cared about the debt. He was really excited to get us involved in the industry. And so then I came in and I never left. And I absolutely fell in love with it. After my first SIPA conference, I'm like, these people are amazing. They actually help. They care. Why would you ever want to leave? So I never left the industry after that.
It's not like that everywhere, is it?
No, it is not. I worked in oil and gas, and I absolutely love that. I had an amazing experience, but the culture is so different, and the people are so different, and then it's just not the same. Food service is remarkable. It's an incredible industry to be a part of.
I would agree. Brett says, awesome. New to the business, but repping here in Colorado, pro reps. Well, Brett, welcome to the industry. You've got two folks here who say stay. It's a great place to be. I hope you enjoy it, man. Jamie, let's talk just in terms. I mean, you've got so much you're juggling. We're going to get to a lot of things. You're running Grady's. You've got young kids. You've got a husband. You're so much going on amidst all these things. What are some disciplines that you practice in your life? Things that is there anything that you're kind of habitual with? That you're like, here's things that really keep me going and keep me moving forward. Anything like that in your world? Like making the bed every morning at, whatever time, anything like that?
I think my husband would wish I made the bed every morning. That is definitely not my cup of tea. But I can say that every morning when I wake up, no matter what's going on, the first thing I do is I try to set a clear intention for the day. And then I try to attach that intention to something like an elevated emotion of something I want to achieve. And that might sound kind of weird, but for me, I can be very influenced by my external environment. And that's something I can't control. So with so many things coming at me every day, from whether it's kids or work or internal pressures, I don't ever want to succumb to those negative external, environmental sources. So I try to stay true to that source of intention and then attach it to something that makes me feel good. And throughout the day, try to lean into that throughout the entire day. And for me, that's just my day every morning. I got to do that every morning. Whether it's in the shower or it's laying in bed, it's the first thing I do every day.
Jamie, I think it's brilliant and really wonderfully said. I think there's one of the hopes of the Power Plant Network has been to hopefully shine a spotlight on the fact that we all experience feelings. And emotion it's not anti-business to talk about how we're feeling or talk about emotion. I mean, emotion is one of the greatest sales tools we can create in other people. If you can create emotion and an enthusiasm for something. And I think it was Tony Robbins who said, every human is out to maximize pleasure and minimize their pain. And it doesn't mean none of us have pain, and doesn't mean we're always maximizing the pleasure. But when you can tie it to something you feel, we all want to feel good. I think that's a wonderful way to move through kind of those challenging moments with momentum towards that thing you want to experience.
Well, and I think so often throughout your day, you can start to attach, negative emotions, negative thought patterns about something that happened yesterday. You're driving in traffic, somebody cuts you off, and that ruins your entire day
Yeah.
because, you're constantly attached to those feelings and emotions. And if you live every single day by what happened in the past or that happened yesterday, that creates your present moment. And that present moment then becomes your personality, and then your personality becomes your future reality. And then that's all you live by. And that's not all me. I listen to a guy by the name of Joe Dispenza. So look him up. I love that guy.
What's his last name again? Say it again.
Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has a remarkable story and talks you how to get out of the entrapment of negative thinking. And a lot of this is his words, not mine. So I don't want to take credit for all of that. But it has literally changed my life, and I know it could be remarkable for everybody that's listening here.
Oh my gosh. Jamie, I feel like you should start running this video podcast show because
right, you're amazing.
that was awesome. You are preaching. I can't wait to learn about this person and the entrapment of negative thinking. There isn't a person in this show watching or on my street out right on the other side of his computer that doesn't deal with that and try to figure out ways to move past those negative thoughts, that cycle, that snowball that builds, and kind of break out of it towards a place of positivity.
And it's hard. I'm not saying I'm good at it, and I fail miserably at times, but I really try every morning to reset and to just start over and try, so that's one thing I do try to do.
Beautiful. I love it. Brett, thank you. Love the speech. Inspired me at the end of the year meeting. Oh, Brett, friggin' awesome. I love that. I love it. Maureen says, wonderful tip. Thank you. Heck yes. I got a feeling Joe Dispenza, his website's going to go up in looks tonight. Everybody's going to be going to find him. Jamie, tell me this too. It's hard as a parent and as a spouse and participating in such a successful company. It can be hard to balance all that and to know, is it even possible? I think there's people that think, I wonder if it's even possible to have a successful career and contribute in meaningful ways and work hard and have a strong work ethic and be present at home to the degree that I can and be engaged and connected with the people in my home. Is there any advice you'd offer someone? Perhaps they've got young kids or they're wondering, they're looking at their future and thinking, I don't know if I can have a successful career and a family. Any advice or thoughts you'd give?
Yeah, I think that I was so beyond blessed to be raised in a family-owned business because I have never known any different. So there was never that separateness for me. It wasn't work and family. Family was work was family. We lived and coexisted together. So my dad, when he ran the business, never missed a thing. My dad was at everything. My mom was a school teacher. Sometimes she couldn't get off work to be at things, just the way that it was. So I think if you're in this industry, there is so much opportunity for you to, if you don't try to separate the work-life balance. I know there's a ton of jargon out there about, oh, I need my work-life balance. And then you also hear the other side, oh, rise and grind, baby, rise and grind. So I think that's all malarkey. For me, it's like finding the balance with both of them and knowing that they're going to coexist together. Like you're not going to go home every night and be able to shut off your phone and just be with your family. But the sooner that you accept that and integrate that into your life, and then you're grateful for the moments that you can use your work, like you can be with your kids with your work, if that makes sense. Like, for example, my daughter a couple months ago got sick at school, picked her up, like, hey, I have a meeting. It's 3 hours away. Do you want to come? So she went on a project site walk with me, and I was so excited because that's what I used to do growing up. Like we would go on a camping trip, but what my dad would do is he would say, okay, we're going to go to X place because there was a project in X place in the mountains, and I got to stop there for 3 hours and do a project site walk. But hey, guess what? We got to spend time together as a family. So I know that might sound, for me, it's like try to eliminate the separateness and be grateful for the time that you do have with them, and know that when you are pulled away from them, you don't begrudge that situation. Embrace it and be grateful because it does provide you the freedoms, I mean, my dad delivered glassware on New Year's Eve. That was just part of it. But he never missed an assembly line. He never missed a swim meet. So there are trade-offs. And for me, it's like you just have to know you can have it all, but you can't have it all at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's really, really wise advice. What's this? They live together for sure. There's our buddy Rich Malachy in Jersey and New York, we love Brother Rich. They lived together for sure. With my dad growing up, business was intertwined in everything. Yeah, I relate. I mean, I was, polishing, growing kettles at 10 and
Yeah.
Charleston refrigerators and putting away a night of flatware in the stock room to have samples. So, and then you're right. We would mix, all of it would mix. My dad would work at home and we'd go to work with him. But then he would be at a lacrosse game at 3:30 on a Thursday afternoon.
And I think young people, I mean, I know if you're not the owner or it's not your business, I think if you can ask yourself this question and communicate this clearly to your team and your leadership of how does this look if this were my business? And don't approach it so much as me, 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 me. This is what I need. This is what I need. But approach it as, what would I do if this were my business? And then communicate that clearly to your team, your leadership of, hey, this is what I really want. Here's what I'm willing to do for the company in order to make this happen. And don't just make it about you. It's got to be about everybody trying to achieve a common goal. And I think that as long as you do that, it's very, very helpful. And it's well received if it comes from that place.
Really great advice. I love that. Marcia, this is exactly spot on. Balance and be present when you're there. We have to juggle and we make it work. Heck yes. Dean, Jamie Arguello, given you're a part of family business, was there an aha moment that happened that changed your thought process on the business?
I think my first win, as far as like changed my mind of wanting to stay here. I think the first time I won, and this is going to sound boastful, but I don't really think I've ever believed that there was anything that I couldn't do. So it humbled me at times, and it's hard, but I'm never going to give up. So I think the first win, and then my dad telling me, I don't know if that's going to work. And then I'm like, I'm going to show you. And he knows me well enough just to say that, to motivate me to push even harder. And then when it finally worked and it finally clicked, then I was telling him, I got my brother, I'm like, you have to get in this. We're going to make this blah, and it just went from there. So I think that was maybe my aha moment. I mean, when I first started, that first hard win. I don't know if that answers that question, Dean.
It totally does. You talk about emotion earlier. You can feel that, a win is something tangible that you experience. It's like, holy smokes. I mean, everybody loves winning. Everybody wants to, and experiencing some level of success, serving a customer, whatever that is. So I love it. Look at this. This is our friend Mary. Love this. So helpful for where I'm at in life with a newborn. I'm all for the balance, but making it work too. Heck yeah, Mary, and doing amazing job. Carolyn. There we go. Carolyn's find the website. Get ready to crash.
Right,
Joe. We're going to crash your site tonight. Everybody's coming. DrJoeDispenza.com. Beautiful. Jamie's dad is an awesome man. Took my kids every Friday night to deliver an emergency small orders when I worked for the dealer. Great job. Great work ethic. So great. So great. Who's this? This is the best advice. There is a path forward. The way. Taz. That's our buddy Taz. Love it. Rich Maliki is in the house. Marlon Gordon is in the house. Yo, Marlon. Hope you are good, my friend. Okay, Jamie, we had a question from our friend Jason Hartman. Jason says, when you are looking to work with or hire somebody, what is the number one personal trait or value you look for and why?
I think a lot of it's gut, I would say, but the one trait would be the ability to critically solve problems. To be able to think through something, not have any answers, not be able to look anything up, and just figure out how to get it done. And that's hard to cultivate in an interview, and that's super hard to I think I look for people where they park when they come to interview, put a piece of trash out in their way to see if they pick it up, see if they're a team player. I know that's more than one, but to me that tells a lot about a person without having them to ask those questions. They got to be a team player, but I would say number one would be, can they critically think and actually, produce results?
There's this idea. One of the people I follow is a guy named Brennan Burchard, and he talks about this idea of being a causal agent, that people who have a victim mentality expect answers to come from elsewhere. Where being a causal agent says, regardless of what event happens, there's going to be things that happen and curveballs that get thrown my way. As a causal agent, I will find a way. I can figure this out. I think he defines confidence as the belief that whatever the situation, I can figure this out. And I think when you've got people on your team who are willing to figure it out, and not just rely on others. Because if you have a team of everyone looking at one another, you're not going to move forward very quick. But a team of people who are like, I got this and I got that one and I got that one, you can create some amazing things.
Absolutely.
Our buddy Chuck Day, industry legend, who hasn't been on the show and should be, Chuck Day. How did you get trained in the business aspects? Insurance, hiring, there's a lot of different things there, but insurance, hiring, firing trucks, install, doing your leadership job. I don't know. Do you have a somewhat generic answer to all that? Maybe some of it, I would guess, is watching your dad.
Well, watching my dad and just diving in, and just trying. I think I was just born bossy too. I mean, I know being bossy and being a leader isn't the same thing, but it was always taught, like, just go for it, figure it out. I remember when I was about 10 years old, I was at work after school and I had my daily task of stuff to do, vacuum, wipe the shelves. And I would into my dad's office and I asked him, I'm like, Dad, what else do you want me to do? I'm done with all the things I finished. And he looked at me dead serious and said, shut the door in his office. So I'm like, oh boy, what did I do? And he looked at me dead straight and said, the worst employee that you can ever be is the person that's constantly bugging your boss and asking what needs to be done. Open your eyes, open your ears, and figure it out and get out of my office. And he didn't say it so kindly. If you know my dad, I love my dad. He's full of passion, full of vigor. But for me, that was my first training in leadership is, seek what needs to be done. Don't just wait for people to tell you this is what happened and be reactive to it. So to sum it all up, it kind of started at that, like just, just seek things out and try to get things done without having to ask, okay, now what do I do? Because I was in a lot of trouble that day.
Got it. And I bet you started opening your eyes and just looking for things you could be a part of solving and fixing.
Or I did. No, I'm just kidding.
That is funny. Donald Fitfo, figure it the F out. There you go, Don. There you go. Just love Jamie and her dad. Who is this? This is Terry Kane. Terry.
Oh, hi, Terry.
Terry. Just love Jamie and dad. Love watching them together. Love that Paul taught you that. Heck yes. We've got so many comments and questions. I love all this. When you have a fierce leader, all of us follow. She has changed my life in and outside of the office. This is McKaylee. Is it McKaylee?
McKayl, yeah. Hi, McKayl.
McKayl, I love it. Welcome. Marcia, proactive and not reactive. Yeah, heck yes. Jamie, you've got, in the midst of running Grady's, here's a comment from Maureen. Bossy is not a bad word. One of my favorite books by Tina Fey, Bossy Pants. I bet that would be good and funny. That's a good.
And she was at the Four Seasons at the conference during the gala.
Tina Fey was?
Yes. She was doing a show there. She walked right through the lobby, or so I was told. I don't know if that's true, but
that is awesome. I love it. Maureen, that's a fun one. I've had friends tell me about that one. Bossy Pants. I'm putting it on the list.
I'm going to have to read that. Thanks, Maureen.
Might be a good vacation book. Like a fun sit by the pool book along the way. Thank you, Maureen. Okay. In the midst of having a young family, in the midst of running a company, you had a health experience a few years ago. You learned you had cancer.
Yeah.
And we talk on this show a lot about challenge, and that while none of us love challenge, none of us love a curveball thrown our way, and something as scary as that, we learn things about ourselves and we learn things about the people around us. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that journey and what you learned about you and maybe any perspective changes that took place throughout the midst of that?
Yeah. So it was 2020. It was July of 2020. COVID was happening and everything else. And I found out that I had breast cancer. And I think the hardest part was waiting to figure out what I was going to do. There's like a 2-week limbo period before you can take action and do anything to get to a better place. So patience. I'm not a patient person. So that took a lot of patience and perseverance. Sorry, I'm like, where am I going with that?
No.
But I think what it taught me a lot of was learning to accept others' help. I've never been good at that. I've always been the one that I want to help and be everything to everybody. But when you can't do things for yourself that you would normally take for granted on a day-to-day level, you really, really lean into other people helping you, and accepting that help with grace, knowing that you're not a failure because you need help. It's because you need help, and it's okay to let others help you. And it's not a fail. You're not failing. It's just you need help, and being able to embrace that. And, I have to say this for my husband. My husband, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have made it through it. He was remarkably strong. And I don't want to cry, so I don't, yeah, and I could cry, but, him taking care of me, and it got pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. Like, there were times where he had to literally help me get up. And that was hard because I don't want help. I want to be able to do. And being humbled so greatly in those moments really taught me a lot about it's okay to lean on other people, and it's okay to ask for help. And you don't take anything for granted. Like being able to eat. I love to eat. Being able to taste food. It's the little tiny things, being able to share time with your family, play with your kids, this little, just feeling good, being able to get out of bed, and you never take any of that for granted, ever.
It is interesting how those moments where something is taken from you, something that we had just counted on as being natural or happens all the time, whatever that is, when it's taken from you, it really does change our experience of it moving forward, and can often create a more beautiful experience of the same thing.
Absolutely. And like I say, I'm so glad, in the rearview mirror, I'm really, really glad that it happened to me, because you appreciate so much more. And I don't know if I would have ever had that deep found sense of joy, appreciation, and gratitude for the little things in life. That I never had that before, and I have that now, and it's profound, and I'm deeply, deeply grateful for that. Now I still worry. I'm not going to lie. I drive my husband crazy. Like, hey, feel this. Hey, feel this. Do you think I'm okay? So he's probably ready to shoot me. So I'm working on that. So I'm not going to lie. So anybody else that's out there that's a cancer survivor, I don't mean to sound like everything's roses and it's super easy for it, because it is still hard. And I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm very grateful for the experience, and I'm grateful for my team and everybody in this industry, because everybody showed up for us. Not just me, but they showed up for my family, for my team members. And to feel that kind of love and outreach from your professional community, I mean, it's profound. And I just am beyond grateful for everyone.
Love you, Jamie. Who is this? I'm curious. Oh, this is our friend Shannon Solomon. Good night.
Oh, I love you, Shannon. Hi, Shannon.
Shannon. Dean, thank you for sharing that. So good. Thanks for sharing that. I think, what is it about asking others for help that can be so hard? And resting. You and I were talking before we get on. Jamie and I went live tonight. We were talking for a few minutes beforehand, and we were talking about rest and knowing, like, really taking time to rest and take care of us, and not always going. And sometimes it does take those moments where you have no other option. It's either people help you or you might not make it.
Yeah.
And turns out oftentimes, for any of you out there who struggle asking for help, I would offer that in experience in my life, and there have been a significant amount of them, where I've needed to ask for support, whether it's from my food service community or from the community in my neighborhood or my family and friends, etc. People love the opportunity to support. I think I took it in the past as a sign. Maybe thought I wasn't strong enough, or I was being weak, but it is the opposite of that. And it gives a community a chance to come together, I think, oftentimes.
Being vulnerable. I think that's a huge part, that vulnerability. Like, being vulnerable takes courage. It's not a weakness. It takes tremendous courage to show how vulnerable you are. And when you don't know something, for me, that was a hard lesson to learn, because I always had to be the person, I knew everything. I'm not weak, I'm strong. And for me, that was hard. So learning that vulnerability is showing up, and that's courageous.
I think vulnerability is one of the greatest connectors of people. I think there's this belief, and certainly I've experienced in my life, I walk into a room of people I feel intimidated by, or, whether it's when I went to my first rep council, or when I first joined the MOFSI board, or, any of these moments where you walk into a room, you're like, oh man, I think these people are legit and I've got no idea what I'm talking about. This I'm sure. And oftentimes there can be this bravado, what Dave Turner calls armoring up, oh yeah, I got it all figured out. And all of these things to try to elevate myself in a perception of all those around me. But I think the willingness to be real and authentic and vulnerable is the ultimate diffuser of that, diffuser of boundaries and barriers, and the ultimate opening of connection and opportunity. It's, when you and I share life, Jamie, and that's a part of what these conversations do. We just happen to get to do it with an industry where you're willing to be vulnerable. It creates a whole new level of trust with people who maybe didn't know you. And me and et cetera, and in the industry. And I will tell you, I think the industry, and I will say this too, I think Maureen and the team at Zumba have done a brilliant job of offering this opportunity. Even listening to, we're going to talk about the FENS Awards Gala in a minute. And, Jamie was recognized for Outstanding Achiever as a dealer. And we all hung out with Tina Fey that night, apparently. But some of us know, some of us don't, at the Four Seasons in Chicago at NRA. And you listen to the speeches, and there isn't a dry eye. I mean, people are willing, there's a level of vulnerability. And I think Maureen and her team have opened up the door for that, whether it was Maureen coming on the show, a while ago, and willingness to be real and et cetera, and different industry leaders. There's a new opportunity to say it's okay to be just who you are. And in fact, that is the path to connection, to growth. And that is in fact what makes our industry so special.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jim's asking, how do you start your day? Jim, we talked a little bit about Jamie sets an intention. Boom, sets an intention. Here's where I'm going, and connects it to a powerful emotion. Boom. Anything else you'd offer, Jamie? I don't know.
A strong cup of espresso.
There we go. And some caffeine to pump you up.
You gotta have that.
At the FENS Awards dinner, when you were recognized by the Zumba team and FENS magazine as the outstanding achiever in the dealer category, you are quick to spread the love, you're quick to deflect from you, I would offer, and point towards so many people around you. What did that award mean to you and your team? And when did you learn, I guess, to really celebrate all those supporting you?
That award was so meaningful, and it was nothing about me. So what made it so meaningful, and I can tell you, standing on that stage and thinking back to what we had been through in the past 2-3 years, 2020 was hard for everybody. 2021 was hard for everybody. 2022, I think, was hard for everybody. You throw cancer and a couple other things that happened in our dealership, which aren't mine to share, so I'll leave those aside. To see the team rise through that, and to see their ability to look at challenges in a way that they had never looked at them, not from the past, from the present moment, and try to do things differently. Like, for me, that emotion was just so much. Like, it wasn't about me. And if it was about me, it was because this is everything I ever wanted to teach my people in our dealership. And then when I'm standing there on that stage, like, it was so hard not to cry, because I see all these faces staring back at me of all these people in the industry, or people that they represent, that have helped me and helped my family so significantly, that it's so overwhelming. Like Kelly Kane from SIFA, and Rachel and Chris, and then in them I see Teddy Reed and Jim Reed, and it's just like we have a whole journey of how those people got us to where we are. And I see John Knackley and Will Means from Champion, and so many more people. And it was just like standing there and their faces. And I know the relationships that they have with my team back at home. It was so overwhelming. So how could that award be about me? I'm one person. I don't do very much. It's about them. And it was about everybody in the room, and how much our industry helps each other, and just what the power of connectedness and creating those connections have done. It wasn't very long ago where I went to my first gala, and I didn't even have a dress. It was like last minute, here's a couple extra tickets. So that was Chris Folds from the Redstone Group when he was the young lion back in the day. And just what you said earlier about feeling so vulnerable in that room, I was just like, oh my God. But in my mind, I told my brother, and I looked at him like, we're going to be here someday. And granted, it was a different magazine, but it was a different thing. I'm like, we got there. And it was because of all the people in that room and because of the team back home. And just so setting that intention, the same thing I try to do each day now, setting that intention and having that elevated emotion of wanting to be there. So I thank Maureen and Joe and everybody at the Zumba group, because being able to attach that feeling that you provided me with because of that opportunity to do that is only going to supercharge the next great thing, whatever that might be. I don't know.
Oh, Jamie, I love it. I love there's so much power in calling your shot, meaning deciding who you want to be, who you want to know, what you want to experience, how you want to succeed, and deciding that first and then working your way backwards. And I love that that was the fulfillment of one of those things from years ago when Foles invited you to come.
Yes. And Joe Deckelman, I have to say, bought me a bottle of champagne, and our team bottle of champagne. I love Joe, and I send him all the best.
So awesome. Cindy's here. Lenny's here from the East Coast. Mike Nugent's on. Hi, everybody. Jamie, you do something really cool where so many of your team members, I want you to talk about Colorado Rehire.
Okay.
Because so many team members that you bring on staff that you all train and incorporate in your community who are helping build the wonderful dealership you've got have come from other places, have come from prison, right? And you're incorporating, helping them find that transition back into everyday life outside of the penal system. Can you talk about how you found Colorado Rehire and why, you chose to kind of invest your energy and bring people in to help them through this transition in life?
Yeah. Jason, I'm like, God has blessed me with an amazing family, and I count my lucky stars every single day. And I've never once had to basic necessities, food, water, clothing, shelter. I've never had to worry about that. So I think that as a person, it is your responsibility to liberate these people that are oppressed. And when I say oppressed in the United States of America, there are people that didn't grow up with a good family. There are people that daily struggles had to worry about, where am I going to sleep? What am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? They didn't have basic necessities. So what would that say about me as a person if I wasn't willing to look and extend a hand to somebody who maybe made a bad decision because they encountered some of those challenges, which I am so grateful I've never even had to think about in my life. So to me, that's what it means for Colorado Rehire. It's the only way I can pay it forward what God has blessed me with, because abundantly He has blessed me, just having a family. And it's heartbreaking to hear people don't have a mother like I had. They don't have a brother like I have. They don't have a husband or a father or anybody to help them along. They're all alone in this world, and they're struggling just to survive. And so I know people will say there's a lot of judgment around, judging people because of the choice that they made. But until you've walked in a person's shoes, or lived their life or understood their struggle, who are you to judge? Because I guarantee you we've all done things that could have gotten us in the same place if we would have just got caught, or we would have been faced with the same external circumstances that those people were. So that's why we got involved through Catholic Charities with Colorado Rehire. So.
Wow, beautiful. Amazing to see you help people rebuild their dreams, create their new intention of what life can look like. David, our buddy David Maxwell,
Hi,
one
David.
of our favorites ever. Great conversation. I'm so blessed that I've crossed paths with Jamie and her family. David, you're one of our faves. This is our buddy Matt Rigney. Yo, Riggs, what great work you're doing. Heck yes. Okay, Jamie, finish this statement. I'm happiest when?
I'm serving others and with my children.
I love it. Do you... one thing on your bucket list?
So bucket lists for me are a dangerous place to go. So
okay.
I don't like bucket lists because it just reminds me of being dead. And I am so grateful to be alive and to be healthy. And if I were to have created a bucket list, let's say 2-3 years ago, I don't think it'd be the version. It would be something that I desired in the past. And to me, it kind of just reminds me of something you tried to create from a past person. And I don't want to look at the past. I'm completely content with everything that I have, everything where I'm going. There's nothing that I really want, and I just try to live in the present moment. So for me, bucket lists are like, heck no. They're a for me.
I love it. That's a pretty awesome, envious place to be, where I don't meet a lot of people like that, where it's like, what? I love where I'm at. I love what I've got. I'm living my definition of a dream with my definition of my favorite people on the planet. And that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Lastly, how would you define success? What does success mean to you, Jamie?
To me, success is having the courage to show up and be vulnerable and to fail forward and to give it everything you got and to define yourself by a vision of the future and not the memories of the past.
Define yourself by a vision of the future, not your memories of the past.
You got to go listen to Joe and you'll understand what that means, because there's a lot to that. That's not mine, that's his. But I don't want to be who I was yesterday. I don't want to be that person,
Yeah. That's really beautiful. I love it. I love it. It's often, I think frequently about someone one time talked about our emotions. It's like we carry this backpack, like this emotional experiences backpack that over time, hard things fill it, right? And it's like we're carrying rocks, like kind of weighing us down when we hold on to the past too long. And I think it's a great metaphor. And I love when you say, I'm going to look to the future, what I want to create there, who I was, what I was, experiences, things I've done, all those things in the past don't limit where I'm going and who I can become in order to get there. I can always evolve, always change. I like your definition of success, Jamie. We're going to end, before we wrap it up, I'm going to end with, look at this. Boom. There's some little heart-shaped hands. Boop. I don't know if I'm doing it right. My daughter would probably tell me I'm not. Strength, abundance of strength. I like to end the show with what's called encouraging words, where we get to read the guest just a few words from industry peers who you've made a difference in their lives, and you've made a difference in many. And I'm going to read you a couple. First is our friend Kelly Kane from CIFA. Jamie is amazing. She challenges the status quo, whether that's through innovation or in her local community. She approaches challenges with a creativity of thought and a fearlessness of action. She is inspiring in the way she approaches opportunities as she navigates her business, with unparalleled innovation and with aggressive forward thinking. It's so key to future-proof your business, and Jamie is a pro at it. We all know Jamie is one of the best humans out there. We've all heard that old saying about how it's what you do when people aren't looking that is the true measure of character. When all of you aren't watching, Jamie checks in. Sometimes it's a simple text to see how you're doing, to make sure you know that she's there if you need anything, or to convey her support, and to make sure that you are taking care of yourself and your family. We all need that. And the reality is that so few people actually receive that. Thank you for that gift, Jamie. I admire how you have faced incredible challenges, both professional and personal, with grace, with humility, and with such a bright spirit. I'm impressed by your commitment to making everyone and everything around you feel special. Keep blazing your trail. We're all watching, and so are our daughters. Woo!
Oh, thank you, Kelly.
Brilliant. Beautiful words, Kelly. Another good friend of ours, Maureen Slocum from Zumba. When I first met Jamie at a CIFA conference, I was instantly impressed. Not only is she warm and friendly, but everyone at the conference also seemed to be drawn to her. It feels inadequate to describe Jamie Arguello as a cancer survivor, because she is so much more than that. She has not only survived, but flourished in her role as principal president of Grady's, a second-generation dealership out of Pueblo, and receiving the FENS 2023 Top Achiever Dealer Award. It's Jamie's genuine concern for others, including her family, her company, and their customers, that defines her. Her work with Catholic Charities Rehire Colorado, offering entry-level jobs to former criminals, epitomizes her commitment to second chances in the community that she serves. She's an example to leaders of all stripes and to women in leadership in particular. I'm proud to know Jamie, and I hope that I can continue to learn from her positive example in leading my own team. Wonderful, Maureen.
Marie.
And lastly, we've got someone you know better than I. This is your old man. We got Paul. Thanks to Luke, by the way, who made the connection, helped us get Paul to send a few words. I find Jamie to be a natural leader, self-starter, and a finisher. She puts herself in her employees' shoes and is part of their team, giving them guidance, inspiration, and motivation. As her father, I hit the jackpot with a child who has a great heart in helping people, a business mind, and a great work ethic. Whew, Paul, bringing it home, brother. Wonderful words for your daughter. For everyone watching, I'm going to bring up, look at this. Our friend Teddy. Jamie, this was amazing. It is so great to see you stating your views and sharing some wonderful ideas. You are terrific. So proud of you. Heck yes. Beautiful and lots of really fun emojis. Carolyn, you're awesome. Love it, love it, love it. If you're watching, listen, certainly tonight, Jamie's story was said in such a way that we all relate. We all relate to challenge. We all relate to needing to move out of negative thinking sometimes and learn how to get positive. We all learn how to need out of showing up. We all at times struggle asking for help. All of those things are universal to humans, certainly food service professionals, it seems. But I would offer you the opportunity through an industry leader right here, sharing with you that all of those things are wonderful, and that all offer some element of freedom when you're willing to do so, when you're willing to step in that moment of vulnerability and say, you know what, I just can't do it on my own right now. That is not just okay, but that is health. And that is a willingness to realize that who we are is bigger than just me, bigger than just Jamie. It's a byproduct of the people we trust to surround ourselves with, to support us in those times. I would say also, Jamie, you rock me tonight with, a lot of Joe's work that you've learned, or, we all learn from all these wonderful people and minds, and to continue looking to the future. That motivation is often found in a combination of a vision that compels us and a strong emotion to move us forward in those moments of challenge or self-doubt or wherever they are, to keep moving forward. So if you find yourself struggling out there right now, since we haven't done one of these, I haven't said this in a while, but we all go through hard times. All of us. Times where we can't get off the couch, like Jamie couldn't get up, and her husband had to lift her, just help her get moving. We all have that, whether it's physically or emotionally or mentally, right? It's just a part of the journey. I would offer that you keep going. We all have moments where we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Understand that it's there. If you're willing to keep moving, you're willing to keep learning, if you're willing to keep taking those steps forward and showing up in your own story and with your own community, you'll get there. You'll move past. Continue growing. And if you need an example, we've got a community of a few thousand people willing to support you. You can always message me if you ever need to connect with Jamie, and we can get your number if you need just a friend to talk to, someone to listen to you, or whatever that is. And we have so many amazing people here for you. So keep going. All right. Just keep moving. Listen, Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to be on here tonight, too, and your support. I love you all. You're amazing.
This was a total gift. Claudia's in the house. That's our buddy, Drew O'Quinn. Great work, Jamie. Love her brother and father, too. Love this. Thank you both. Much appreciated. Brett, thanks for joining us. What a great word from her dad. Nick, right? Here we go. Don't be afraid to reach out. We're all one big happy family. Mikhail, I love it. As a father of a daughter, thanks. God bless y'all, says Carolyn. Denise, love you both. We love you too, Denise. Everybody, thank you again for joining us. Have an awesome evening.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.